In the village of Amma, where the river was the lifeblood of the people, lived a fisherman named Jalomi. He was known far and wide for his unmatched skill, but also for his insatiable greed. While other fishermen took only what they needed, Jalomi cast his nets deeper and wider, hoarding his catch in the hope of becoming the wealthiest man in the village. One evening, as the sun bathed the river in a golden glow, Jalomi ignored the warnings of the elders and rowed his canoe beyond the safe fishing grounds. His paddle cut through the water, leaving ripples in the river's smooth surface. As he cast his net, a strange stillness settled over the land. The air felt heavy, thick with something unseen. But Jalomi paid no mind. His only concern was the weight of his nets. Jalomi pulled at his net, expecting a bountiful haul. But what he found made his heart race. There, caught in the tangled threads, was a fish unlike any he had ever seen. Its scales shimmered like molten gold, its eyes glowing like embers in the night. His hands trembled as he reached for it. Suddenly, a voice, soft yet commanding, whispered in the air around him. "Release me, fisherman," it said. "Take only what you need, and the river will always be kind to you." Jalomi's grip tightened. He had heard the stories of the river spirits, of fish that carried warnings from the gods. But greed clouded his judgment. He threw the golden fish into his canoe, his mind already spinning with thoughts of wealth and glory. The river responded. The once calm waters churned violently, the sky darkened, and a distant roll of thunder shook the land. The birds that had filled the trees with song fell silent, but Jalomi only grinned, thinking himself victorious. That night, Jalomi prepared a great feast. His family gathered around, their eyes wide with excitement at the sight of the golden fish roasting over the fire. The villagers too came to see this wonder, whispering in hushed voices about whether it was a blessing or a curse. As Jalomi took the first bite, a powerful wind tore through the village. The fire flickered violently, shadows dancing wildly against the walls of the huts. Jalomi gasped, clutching his chest as his body convulsed. His skin shimmered, shifting from deep brown to a golden hue. His legs stiffened, fusing together, and his arms grew weak and fin-like. A horrified scream erupted from his throat. But it was no longer a man's scream. It was a strange, hollow sound, like the cry of a creature from the depths of the river. His wife and children watched in terror as their husband and father transformed into a fish before their very eyes. Then, as if summoned by unseen hands, a mighty wave crashed into the village, sweeping Jalomi's writhing form into the river. The moment he disappeared beneath the surface, the water turned black, and the village's fate was sealed. The once thriving village of Amma was now a place of despair. The river, once clear and abundant, had become lifeless. No fish swam, no crops grew, and the land itself seemed to mourn. Desperate, the elders and the villagers gathered at the riverbank, calling upon Yemoya, the great mermaid queen, the mother of the waters. At first, nothing happened. Then, the river began to glow with an eerie blue light. From its depths, Yemoya rose, a majestic figure with dark, glistening skin, braided hair adorned with cowrie shells, and piercing golden eyes. "One man's greed has cursed this land," she said, her voice like the flowing water itself. "His fate is sealed, but the village may yet be saved." From the river, she lifted a small, glowing white fish. "Take only what you need," she commanded. "Return this to the water, and balance will be restored." With great reverence, the old fisherman Baba Akin stepped forward. He cradled the white fish gently in his hands and waded into the darkened waters. As he released it, the village held its breath. Then, before their eyes, the river changed. The black waters turned clear once more. Fish swam in abundance, and the land seemed to sigh in relief. The curse was lifted. The people of Amma rejoiced, but as they celebrated, they saw Yamoya sink back into the river, her golden eyes lingering on them one last time. And in her grasp, struggling feebly, was a golden fish Shalomi. He was never seen again. From that day forward, the people of Eek honored the river, taking only what they needed, never forgetting the tale of the fisherman's curse.